Hey guys, my name is Eric Gjerdrum and I'm the guitar tech for Hans Zimmer's live show here. I'm taking care of a few musicians here on stage right, namely Nile Marr and Andy Pask and a few string girls over here. And I just want to show you guys what we have going on stage. So we have the string section right here, and over here we have Nile Marr station. He's running Kempers, which are down by my station. I help him with some switching and stuff like that during the show, make sure everything is working right. We have some drums and Giorgios and all kinds of weird stuff going on up here, but yeah, it's fortunately a large team taking care of this, so we should be good. Over here we have Andy Pask's station. A few basses, an upright bass, a bunch of pedals, and then we have the man himself. He's housing over here in the, how do we call it, the Millennium Falcon. It's kind of like a Star Trek-ish station. And this is Juan's station right here. Over here we have the station of none other than Guthrie Govan. Let's have a look upstage here. We have some timpanis, a couple of drum sets here that go up and down. They're on a lift, so we start the show with them down in the basement. This whole section right here with the Giorgios is starting over here up front. About a minute into the show, that whole thing just rolls back and the drums rise up from the pits of hell. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Then we have the very upstage top level over here with a lift, yet another lift. We take up a grand piano for the last song. We have some timpanis coming up in the midsection of the show. We have a cello section for Hannibal. And here is Guthrie Govan's second station. So he starts out the show down on his main station, which is downstage. And then he appears out of thin air up here and plays a really cool solo. And then we have a third station for Guthrie over here. So Pirates, he does another solo over here. So yeah, there's a lot going on. It's a 3.5-hour show. A lot of stuff coming, going up and down, as you saw on the lifts. Here we are at my little station, and let's talk a little bit about the guitars that I have here for Nile Marr. I do all the guitar switches for Nile Marr during the show. There are a few, not too many, not too crazy. He's mostly, I would say about 80% of the show he plays on this guy here, which is a 63 Jazzmaster, pretty rare and beautiful guitar, I would say. Matching headstock, and you know, this is for the guitar enthusiasts. This is kind of a gem, I would say. Sounds great, and this is basically, yeah, as I said, it's 80% of the show he's on this guy. Starts out the show in drop D on this for Dark Knight. A few different options here, depending on which song it is. Like for instance, the song is called, or the piece is called Chevalier. It's from the Da Vinci Code. He uses this beautiful guitar. It's his father's signature Martin guitar. It's a 7-string. So basically it's just a regular 6-string with an added 10-string, basically, for the G string. So it sounds kind of like a 12-string, but just with one added string. Old folk trick, apparently. Yeah, Nile told me. So yeah, this is a really nice guitar. It sounds lovely. And then it's a Gibson Chet Atkins nylon string for Gladiator, without a resonance hole, to kind of help with feedback issues and stuff like that. If you're on a loud stage, this is a really good nylon string to have. Last but not least, we have a gold tone band guitar or whatever you call it, that we use for Pirates. We use it for Sherlock, a few other pieces. Yeah, we had to work quite a lot with this one because we use this through the Kemper, as opposed to before when we used this guy through a DI and we had some different routing basically. But now we're running this through the Kemper. We're running everything through a Kemper. That's the last piece of the puzzle when it comes to guitars. And basically what's going on here is I have Nile's two Kempers here, as well as Molly Rogers, who is the lead violinist, I would say. We have Mariko, who is our cellist. And they run on Fractal FM3s. And those are switched automatically from our tracks. So we have program changes coming this way. And so those, basically, I just monitor them and make sure they're working. Nile, who runs the Kempers, I help him out with some switching when he's, up running and around the stage, and make sure that volume is on, and when he's doing his parts, and just help him switch to the right patches and stuff like that. Signal-wise, it's basically through our radials, the JX44s, and then straight into the amp sim that we're using, and then we have radial backtrack switchers, but down here. So if something should happen, I just press on the button, we switch to the B machine. So yeah, it's fairly simple setup, I would say, and it's working fine. We're tweaking a lot of sounds during the show. He comes up to me, Nile that is, and he comes up to me and asks me to do some tweaks, and try to help him out as much as I can in that sense. And yeah, that's basically it. This whole rack is brand new. We had gear on stage before, but for this tour we've basically decided to have a clean stage, or as clean as possible. And for this build, I reached out to the lovely people at KLOTZ to have some of the gear incorporated here. So basically everything that is wired up here in this rig is solely KLOTZ cables. I think they're great cables, noiseless, and very easy to use, and just makes my day much easier, basically. And we're basically going from, from the guitar to the wireless pack, and from the receiver here to all the different units. It's just basically all KLOTZ stuff. No issues. As I said, really easy products to use, and yeah, it's my cable choice. So this is the cello. Mariko uses this for Hannibal and a song called Chevalier from Da Vinci Code. And she pops up from the very top level in this beautiful red dress, which is huge. Spills over the Giorgios like blood. Really cool part. So this guy goes up behind the lift before the show starts. I'm always a bit nervous walking in the stairs with this guy. So this is Mariko's electric cello that we use during the show. And she's basically playing this guy 70% of the show. And then a couple of songs she's doing on the acoustic cello. This is her main weapon of choice, so to speak. Very sparkly. Not sure the model type, but it's a Yamaha.
Hello everybody, hello KLOTZ family. This is Juan Garcia Herreros, also known as Snow Owl. And today we are in Munich, in Olympia Halle. We are on tour with HANS ZIMMER Live. And all the people at KLOTZ have come here to check out the rig and asked me to show you a little breakdown of how I'm using their cables in a touring situation. So, my first memory of KLOTZ, and this is a very special memory for me, is I was in Iridium Jazz Club in New York City. I was visiting my good friend TM Stevens, and TM told me about the cables. And every time that I look down at my pedal board and I see, for example, this particular, this orange cover here at the ends of the cables, that was so signature to TM. And every time I think about him, and I always have him in my heart, miss him to death. And he's the reason why I started using the cables. So I've got on my wireless here, there's this very, very beautiful cable that they put together for me. Works amazing. I love that it's muting when you're unplugging out, or the safe switch, or however you guys call it, so nobody gets a horrible sound in their monitors if you pop out by mistake. So that's always a wonderful safety to have. From the transmission, the cables that we even did the comparison, we had a much better mid-range transmission using this cable. So once I used it, I didn't go back. It's on my other 6-string bass as well. If you see right here, if you see it there on the bottom. And this is a 5-string Ibanez, and this is a 6-string Neubauer custom Snow Owl bass. The signal is then sent out over the wireless. It comes into the pedal board right here through the RF return, and then we're patching. I love the lengths, the different lengths of KLOTZ for patching my pedal board. It made it so easy. I was able to order different lengths directly with them, and it goes into the Cortex where I have all my presets for every movie. Every soundtrack has a specific preset that we created. This one in particular is, if you've seen the latest F1 movie, I had the honor of doing that with Hans. And for example, the preset here says "he's flying." That's one of the lines from the movie that they mention. And you won't be able to hear it all how it's meant to be, but at least you get a little preview of the bass line. For example, and that's the driving synth bass line that is on that soundtrack that everybody's hearing when they watch the F1 races and the movie. So that gets mixed up with a lot of different distortions. It gets sent out 3, sometimes 4 signals. And the way I'm routing that to the dark glass amp is through the Rupert Neve DI. And then, of course, splitter from Lele. That's very important for having a clean signal when you're splitting and sending it out, and not having any grounding noise or phase issues. If you have any phase issues, you can flip them there, which is amazing. Another cable that I'm using here on the Bode bass. This is the bass that I used for both Dune movies. And a lot of people know that from all the sandworm and all the Harkonnen stuff, that all the bad guys, they always make me the bad guy. I don't know why, but that's what Hollywood always asks for. That's what they get. So the variety of what I'm doing, switching between electric, sound design, bowing. Sometimes I have to be like a cello, sometimes I have to be a double bass, sometimes I have to be a driving bass. That's a lot of demand for a live situation and in studio as well. And without, coloring this in any way, as honest as possible, I've never in 6 years on this pedal board changed one cable. They've lasted. They don't break. They sound amazing. They work it throughout the whole rig. It's like a set and forget situation. And the same thing is in my studio when we're doing all the remote recordings. It's all KLOTZ cables, the XLRs, the splitters. Basically, that's the only thing that I rely on for all of my sound processing. So yeah, iPad for watching football games during match. No, kidding. That's basically my layout here. There's a page turner, carbon bow. That's important because the traditional wooden bows can suffer when you're on tour. So it's good to have carbon bows will last, easier to travel with. If there's anything else, this is completely wired with KLOTZ, and it's gonna stay that way forever.
Yep.
So really quick, I just want to give a tremendous shout out to Ollie here. He is my pit stop. Every time something goes wrong, he is running up and down like crazy. This is the best guy ever. So
Thank you.
you
Thank
need a
very
good
much.
tech, and if you need one, you can't have him. He's mine.
Thank you.